Hi guys, so today I'm going to do another classic game review, and this is going to be Alien Colonial Marines by Gearbox Software and published by Sega. The game's about a decade old at the time of this review, so I think we can call it a classic game review. About this game, you and your friends are the deadliest killers in the galaxy. Another glorious day in the core. Buckle up, soldier. Welcome to Alien's Colonial Marines, created by Gearbox, the critically acclaimed and fan-favorite developers of Borderlands and Brothers in Arms. Those are two other series. You and your friends will become the most badass military outfit in the galaxy, the US Colonial Marines. It's up to you not just to survive but wipe out the Xeno infestation. So enlist in the Marine Corps, bringing you a true sequel to the classic Aliens film. Get tooled up with classic Marine weapons including pulse rifles, motion trackers and flamethrowers. The most authentic Alien experience yet, using authentic environments inspired by the film series including Hadley's Hope, the Sulaco and LV-426. You'll be immersed in an eerie, atmospheric world where any moment could bring you death. Then it goes about, there's a multiplayer mode and all the kind of extra features you can get, because I actually bought a collection that has a lot of DLC. Won't be reviewing the DLC, but let's say, of course, it's more of the same sort of stuff. Quite a good quality amount of DLC here, but I am just reviewing the initial game campaign to begin with. It does have multiplayer as well. Okay, so this is kind of an interesting game because a lot of critics rated it down. Now let's go into what I think, personally, what I think of the game. So, first of all, the atmosphere in an Aliens game has to be good, has to be tense, scary, and I think to a large extent they do achieve this, although obviously with time playing they are good at ramping up the tension. Definitely, to be honest, I think they got that pretty good. There's certainly enough gaps in between the combat where you have nice little set pieces where your tracker beam is blinking, just like in the films, how tense that was with Ripley. Also, especially, there's actually a part of the game where you have to adopt a more stealthy approach, and I thought that was the best kind of atmosphere, tense kind of feeling part, where you're in the hold of one of the ships, you're in the belly of the beast, and there's all this kind of toxic shit, but some of the aliens have survived, and you have to move slowly because in case they see you.
On you, stupid radio.
Winner? Holy shit, man, I thought you were dead. How are you alive?
While there's other aliens, you don't know which ones are alive, which ones are dead, whatever. It does build a bit of tension, gives you a nice feel. I honestly could kind of like, it reminded me of when I played Laser Quest when I was a kid, that lovely like kind of smoky feel. But like it does build up atmosphere. It's just a shame you can't wear like sort of VR goggles and smell some of that aliens musk, but it does have a nice atmospheric feel to it. Not all the way through, a lot of it is very fast, frantic FPS combat, but there's definitely a bit of that. So of course you can play the game on whatever difficulty suits you. Because I am someone that plays a lot of FPS, I play COD online, and I tend to play people who are ranked above me because I'm a good player. So even though I'm saying it myself, I'm quite good at FPS, so I play it on hardened, which is the a third of 4 difficulties, the fourth one being the hardest. It was a hard game at times. I found as I went through, there's actually a very, I guess, kind of overpowered weapon, which is the sharp rifle. Although it can be deadly at close range, you can wipe a lot out a little bit with if you've got a bit of space between you and the enemies. There's a lot of ammo for that, and it can be times where it's almost overpowered. Certainly those certain parts are like difficult. If it's not like a small learning curve, it's more of like a jagged spike that goes up and down, because there's been moments where it's quite easy, you've only got a few opponents, then suddenly you fight like a boss. There's a boss fight where you have to fight a guy using a big sort of hydraulic suit that you wear.
We have company, guys!
Bullets don't seem to make a difference.
And that part was like really difficult. I actually got stuck on there for quite a while. I wasn't sure if I was doing the right thing. As it turned out, it was actually just the fact that this boss has a lot of health points. So also there's a few sort of quote-unquote boss fights on this, which are pretty neat. Like you fighting unique sort of Titan type aliens, and some of those can be hard. Even some of the combat parts can be hard. You'll have to reset and try them again. But then that's good, because you want the game to be a challenge. I think an FPS game where you just kind of get through it all first time without having to use any strategy is a bit dull. As I said, as I got towards the end of the game, I found myself dying less, because you kind of get acclimatized to what works best. So the game's arsenal is wide and varied. It's an FPS, so having an arsenal that is fun to use is pretty important. Winning often depends on finding the right weapon. Your two mouse wheel main weapons, for example, grenade launching, is great against enemies at a distance. However, the same becomes dangerous when you're being ambushed up close. It's all too easy to die from blowback, in much the same manner as the Doom series, as in the rocket launcher and the Pinky Demon is always a recipe for trouble up close. A shotgun is best for fighting warrior aliens in tight spaces and the spaceship corridors. Like many FPS games, the gameplay is often heated at times, but I believe the whole game is often lacking because of so many similar FPS games, and the fact the genre-defining FPS titles by id such as Doom or the Quake series, it's kind of made the FPS genre somewhat jaded as a whole. However, the Alien universe enemies such as the facehuggers and slimy beast aliens, which compensates for traditional FPS sameness, the lore has been well considered here. It is an authentic Aliens universe experience. Bishop, or a version of Bishop, the android, appears, as does the ominous flashing radar, becoming faster and high-pitched as an alien stalks you.
It's getting lit up here! You better get ready for this shit!
Fun boss fights, difficult battles with giant angry alien breeds, often takes ages to complete. Yeah, as I mentioned, it's sometimes you have to replay a few times and change your strategy up, which is good. It gets you thinking. The authentic chundering of the plasma rifle, small details such as the side round counter, that little laser that counts the rounds as they diminish as you fire, as you light these aliens up. That's pretty neat, you know, I like that. Honestly, it all adds up to an excellent slice of the alien world. There is not a great deal wrong with the game, and it does not deserve so many bizarrely negative reviews. Apparently the game was a little bit, had many bugs, pun not intended, to begin with, but overall I would say it's a good FPS experience. It gives you an authentic kind of feel in the alien universe, bit of tension in there, and so on and so forth. The AI are not stupid. They do kind of cleverly flank and sneak round your back at times, or take cover successfully. The aliens themselves, you have to fight human marines and a mixture of alien as well, and it's all done kind of to try and keep it fresh. I would say it's not too long, not too short, and neat little storyline in between as well. I mean, honestly, it reminded me of Quake 4 or Doom 3, similar to that in many ways. If you like FPS games, you should like it. I don't see the point in people voting it down so much. I don't know if there was some kind of thing where the Aliens franchise was adjudged to have run its course. Who knows? But for me, it's a solid FPS game. It's fun to play. You know, you can feel the guns move, the little animations of reloading. When you hit the enemies, they sort of jib nicely if you shoot them hard. Honestly, a good FPS. It's not reinventing the wheel. Most of the stuff here has been done before. But if you like that genre or the Alien films, man, you're gonna like this game. It's good. So I've got to give it, let's go with 8.5 out of 10. And it depends what you're after. There is a multiplayer mode, there is plenty of fun DLC, which I haven't really checked out, but I'm sure there's plenty of fun stuff there. If you get the collection now, get it pretty cheap, you know. And I think the reason I give it a little bit more is because I do get a little bit of the criticisms that it's a bit jaded, but I believe that is the genre as a whole is kind of jaded. I don't know if multiplayer is still active. I think it probably is, and it's interesting in itself. I should probably have covered it a bit more, but oh well. You can always check that out. But yeah, it kind of does what it says on the tin, I would say. And I wouldn't criticise it. You know, it's a pretty good attempt. But yeah, it helps if you like the genre. Anyway, cheers guys, and I'll be seeing you. That's the end of the review.